We're back with part 2 of my conversation with Nina, where we are getting into a meaningful and practical conversation about AI and SEO. If you have not listened to part 1, you're going to want to go do that first. So go do that and then come back and join us. The link is below and we'll see you in the show. I so agree that SEO often feels exclusionary, and it doesn't have to be. And it even doesn't have to be as complicated as we make it. So I also love your take on you can check the search volume, but it's not that big of a deal at the end of the day. And I used to be so afraid of like, oh my gosh, this one has a search volume of 0. And then after a while, I was like, wait, but this is filling a gap that people are actually talking about. So you did a really great job of articulating all of that. And if it's a conversation that you're having with a person, a real human who is either an ideal client or an actual client or previous client of yours, that's definitely an indicator that you should be talking about that thing because probably no one else is.
And I think like that's been something I've done really well as well, like on socials. But the main thing is like, if someone asks me a question one time, it's becoming a short form piece of content. So it's becoming like something that I'm going to publish on Thread, something that I'll make a quick Instagram story around, something that I'll post in my Facebook groups, whatever. If I get asked the question 3 or more times, it is becoming a standalone piece of content I can direct people to. Because again, I'm lazy. Don't want to answer the same question more than 3 times.
See, I think that's efficient. I wouldn't even call that lazy. I'm like, yes, do that.
I think this is the thing. I think my version of lazy is efficient.
Yeah.
With SEO, it's the laziest form of marketing to some extent because it has the longest lifespan. And so that's why those blog posts are great. Like if I get asked that question 3 or more times, even if I can't like get search volume for it, clearly it mattered to people. And so it's going to save me time in the long run and I can give it as a link to people. But also if that many people are asking, if I internal link it, even if they don't know to search for it yet, because a lot of people don't, and it's something that like I hired a sales page writer for the first time and we were doing like conversion optimization, which like I would not have searched for. I wouldn't have been like, oh, how do I like improve the conversions of my FAQs? And we were looking at for SEO keywords and it's like, they don't exist because people don't even know that's a need that they have yet. But all of her clients end up needing it. So I was like, why don't you have some blog posts around that so you stop spending 100 hours a year emailing people about it? And that's, I think, so important. Like if you can spend an hour, 2 hours writing a blog post, do that, create that services page, answer it in the FAQs on the services page, put your expertise on your about page. If people keep being like, why you? Why would I hire you? And it's not somewhere on your website, that's a problem. So put it there. Then if someone asks the question 5 or more times, that's when I create something that's like a freebie they can download and join my email list. I create like a workshop around it, or I create a paid offer around it because people are struggling. And I actually had like a Jasper AI course. I don't rep them anymore. I do not recommend Jasper. Would highly recommend people avoid them actually because of some scammy business stuff that they started doing that I didn't love. Use ChatGPT or Claude. They're better. But anyway, I started a course on it. It was like a $50 course. I made $30,000 on it in, I think, a year and a half. That's how long I sold it. And the way that I did that largely was I started talking about Jasper like crazy because I liked it. People were like, okay, I want more. And I was like, cool, here's a bunch of videos. They were like, cool, I want more. I was like, great. I found a sponsor to like co-host a webinar with me. People were like, I still want more, make a course. And I was like, okay. So I made a course and then it just sold like crazy. I wasn't holding back information. In fact, I was like giving the milk away for free constantly because that builds trust. I call it the Costco free sample policy. I'm like, I'm not going to buy a box of 800 egg rolls if I haven't had one egg roll. Like, I'm not committing to this. So that's a big thing to me. And I think that, again, like you were talking about with filling the content gaps, we also have to go back to traditional marketing here, where for a while there, SEO was about every blog post on its own. They all existed in their own little sphere. I think your website is an ecosystem and you actually have to think about how it all works together. And so everything needs to have context. It needs to exist together. Nothing can exist in a vacuum or else it doesn't help anybody. And really, everything should add context to each other and should be easy to internal link. It should be easy to drive people through the AIDA funnel into making a purchase of something. Because like, let's be real, we're not just doing this for shits and gigs. We're doing this to like actually make money in our business. And the best thing you can do is map out what does your audience want from point A to point B. And point B is going to be that they're buying from you. So like what helps people get there? And like you were talking about with testimonials, because I'm also so bad at testimonials. I always forget to ask. I feel weird asking. But with that, I'm like, you need to ask. And it's great to set up automations for it. So with those testimonials, look at like how they actually decided to purchase and what made them purchase, and then put that in the funnel. Because you need to be like, oh, okay, someone bought off of this like emotional email or this logical thing or this case study. You want to know that. That way you can then create a funnel that's going to make sure you include that. Because if you don't, then you're just like leaving this leaky funnel that's not going to help you. And I know funnel's like such a buzz marketing term, but
I'm
like
just
I
going to
do
take that
think,
one back too.
honestly, all these terms, it's only clickbait, it's only buzzwords if they don't actually do anything. So I'm like,
Yeah.
let's take them back, let's reclaim them. But yeah, I think ultimately like SEO can be really cozy. I think SEO can be so powerful. And I think, like you're saying, people overthink it. And a lot of the reason they overthink it is because they feel like they need to do it at 110%. No posts 110%, no pages 110%. You're always around 80 and that's fine. The main thing is focus on that audience and focus on the ecosystem. That's when you're going to have success because SEO is site wide. It is not at a single post. And if you're like, the single post needs to rank to like make my business, I'm like, your business shouldn't hinge on a single blog post or a singular page on your website. It really should be everything together.
Yeah, I could not agree more. And plus, even like expanding from there, your podcast, guest interviews, your social media profiles, like all these other things factor in. And I've heard a lot of like our mutual friends talking about like search everywhere optimization, which is something that I've been doing in practice. And I'm sure so many of us have been doing in practice, but actually having it reframed, I think is getting a lot more people on board, which I'm grateful for. But it's also like, yeah.
That's the thing. I'm like, again, I don't think a business should hinge on a single marketing platform because
Hmm.
they are marketing platforms. They are not your business. It's like when
Hmm.
people have like, oh, I run a photography business, but it's just an Instagram page. And I'm like, that's not a business. It's a profile on Instagram. You don't own that. And what if you got blacklisted tomorrow? What if
Yeah.
Instagram does go away? Like we don't control these things. So I always think it's so important. I was at like a conference and the way someone put it, I loved it so much. And I don't remember what her name was. But she was like, you have to have your wifey and then you have your side hose. And you should always have at least 2 side hose. And I was like, that is so well put because, yeah, you're putting the most energy into one thing and that's okay.
Yeah.
We're all going to have like our main thing. And then you have to have a couple others because you have to have other touch points. You have to have like those side pieces you're visiting one day a week or whatever. I don't know. I don't know how people
Yeah.
are balancing this. But like, I just thought it's so funny and visceral in the imagery that it does help you remember like you need
Yeah.
to exist in multiple places. And like in this white paper thing that this person was telling me about, they were like, yeah, genuinely every platform for travel blogging you were mentioned as like a key resource. And I was like, that's wild to me because my focus is really like my blog with SEO, my newsletter, and then my Facebook group. Putting in energy or effort into these things really, but I'm showing up and that matters. And I do think I forgot to mention same as schema earlier when we were talking about like what you need for AI search and even
Hmm.
just for normal SEO. Same as schema is the schema that says, hey, this Nina Clapperton on Instagram is the same as this Nina Clapperton running She Knows SEO. With Rank Math, it's so easy to set up. When you set up Rank Math, it's going to ask you for your social profiles. You just link them and then you're done. And basically, what it's saying is this is the same Nina, same as Nina over here, Nina over here, Nina over here. These are the branded ones. Now, if you have multiple authors on your site, you also want to do this at the author profile level. So like for She Knows SEO, okay, my weird dog TikTok is not going to be something for She Knows SEO, but it's a Nina Clapperton thing. So on
Hmm.
that, I'm going to be like, She Knows SEO are all of these profiles. Nina is She Knows SEO and her random side quest she's doing for fun. And I think that that's, again, that element of you're showing up in more than one place, you're omnipresent, you're multimodal, but also something I think people forget about is that the search results are multimodal in terms of like different forms of content, different
Hmm.
video versus blog posts versus pages versus your business profile for Google, My Business on Google Maps. Everything is getting indexed now. So if you take one piece of content, you actually have opportunities to have 5 places in the top 10 from one piece of effort you did. That's amazing. Like that's so cool. And then it lives on. So
Yeah.
I think it's really important to get in the habit of repurposing and don't choose platforms based on popularity. Choose platforms on what you like because then it's easier to show up for and not be just like, oh, I've got to market there again. Like,
Yeah.
also, that's what helps. Like, when we're talking about those lows, enjoying the platform, enjoying the content, connecting with your audience, it gets you through those algorithm slumps. And also with like the SEO side of it as well, have fun with the writing of the content. Like, have your own voice. actually bring things up. Don't be afraid to be negative. Don't be afraid to get a little bit unhinged and messy.
Yep.
Make it feel like how it's going to feel like when they call you or work with you. And a great way to do that is voice to text. So I often
Yes.
will voice to text as I walk my dog or as I'm driving or something. Put
Mhm.
ChatGPT, it'll clean it up for you a bit and then edit that into a post. So much simpler because you're like starting from a point of I'm talking to my ideal audience. So much easier.
It's so much easier. And then even just like something I enjoy writing, I enjoy that medium. And so I will actually like write things out. And I just have gotten to the point where I'm like, I'm going to write this as if I'm talking to Cecily or Val asked me this question. So I'm going to answer her. So I will actually have people in mind as I'm writing the question, whether they were the ones that asked it or whether I'm like, gosh, I really wish that I could get so-and-so to do this thing. So even just having someone in mind, whether you're doing the voice note or you're writing, I feel like all of this is like, I mean, first of all, it's like lazy marketing at its finest. It's also really bringing us back to a lot of core things that I like talking about. And one of them is authenticity. People want to know you. We've talked about that thread through this entire conversation. And also like sharing things, not being the gatekeeper. And that's one thing that people comment about me is they're like, you don't gatekeep. Nina doesn't gatekeep. There's a reason. And there's a reason that it works. And there's a reason that we're known for these things and that people still come to us for these different types of services or information. It's because we have become a source of you can bring a question, we'll give you an answer. And if we don't know something, then we'll give you a link to somebody else's something because they have that thing too. It really warms my heart because finding the joy, doing things that are fun, staying true to yourself, delivering the same experience, whether it's like a free thing or a paid thing or whatever the thing may be. So just like having that same personality and the same feel, the same vibe throughout everything. I think that's so huge. So I'm really grateful that you reminded us of all of that. And for anyone who wants to be in your world, tell us all of the things. Tell us all the places. Remind us where you're active.
So the main place is sheknowsseo.co. You can find me there. I've got hundreds of articles on all sorts of things, and I'm constantly adding to it. You'll also find a lot of like very in-depth case studies and comparisons of things because I'm messy and I like to test things and I like to break things. So you'll find a lot of stuff there. You can also, if you want to ask me any questions, my SEO for Bloggers Facebook group is the best place to do that. I answer literally every question and it is free to join. Just come over there. Then my email list, I send a newsletter every Tuesday, and we're starting to add some more tracks to that with some extra analogies and AI tips. But that's a very fun spot. And if you go to sheknowsseo.co/audit, you'll get my free content audit checklist, which is more of a workbook of exactly how I took a site from 5,000 page views to 65,000 page views with a massive audit that I did, largely with free tools. Key search is in there. So that would be a paid tool that would be in there. Like Brittany's affiliate link, and then come over to me and then learn how to use it. Is what I'd recommend. And then at the She Knows SEO YouTube channel, you'll find all sorts of tips and tricks. I would say avoid me on Threads and Instagram because it's unhinged and weird. And if you want that,
It's great. It's amazing.
it's at Nina Clapperton. But yeah, if you have any questions, always feel free to reach out to me. I'm always happy to answer questions and help people out. If I can challenge everyone listening to really like prioritize your SEO for a month. I want you to pick a month. I want you to be like, this is my SEO month. And I want you to plan 5 to 10 pieces of content or even plan all 20, but don't write all 20 immediately. It'll be too much.
Don't pull a Brittany. Don't do that.
To be fair, I've written 100 posts in a month
Oh
before.
my
So like you
God.
can do it. Will you see the outside world? Not
No.
for you. And your Uber Eats bills will be insane. So like you got to balance things. But I think it's important to like set yourself, okay, one a week you're going to do for like 10 to 20 weeks. What are the things your audience asks about? What are like the things that you think other people are getting wrong? Not all of those posts need to have a keyword to be clear. Some of them are going to have like a keyword, but it's unrankable because it's like SEO tips and tricks.
Yeah.
Your brand new site's not going to rank for that. That's okay. But it's adding context. So yeah, I want to give you a challenge that I would love to see you guys create this content. And feel free to come like when you've written it, tag me. I would love to see it. I will give you some page views. I'll click to it from socials because that does sometimes help with like Chrome and everything. Email them to me. I don't mind. I love to like just go check things out and cheerlead you because I think the biggest thing you can do is just start working on it. You can always perfect it later. And again, like perfect is an imaginary concept. It will never be 100% perfect. You will always keep iterating and like tweaking it over the years. If I wrote a perfect post in SEO when I started in 2022, I would have had to rewrite it every year anyway. So like, why are you making it perfect when things change? It's okay. So it just needs to be good enough that right now you'd be okay sending it to like 2 clients. That's all. And ultimately, if there's a typo, genuinely no one will care.
My boyfriend, he's an editor. And like, yeah, he's not going to be perfect. I'm not going to be perfect. P.S. I think I needed this therapy session more than anybody else listening. So I'm really grateful for the like, done is better than good. That's my new phrase. But yeah, he had someone actually write him and be like, you had a typo on this blog post. And he was like, okay, did you find the blog post helpful?
Yeah.
What the crap?
This is like an Instagram hack that used to be like a really big thing, is you would put a typo in because then everyone would comment. So I'm like, it gets you engagement. Like it's a thing that people would do to like, they'd misname something, or like even in podcasts, people will mispronounce. And it like, I'm from Ontario in Canada. People will pronounce it Ontario specifically in podcasts and true crime to get people to tag them on socials.
I've never thought of this thing.
Oh, it's a huge thing.
You've given me so much to think about, especially not only with just how my own website works, because frankly, I have been so focused on client work that my poor website has like existed. And we've only just started like rekindling our relationship this year.
Oh my God, Brittany, like my website is as dry and dusty as my relationship status, for sure. I think it's so common for us because like we're focused on client work.
Yeah. It's the whole like cobbler's kids thing.
Yeah.
So there's definitely that. But then even like having the community type space, I feel like that's been something that's been intimidating to me, but something I know this is like something you're definitely passionate about. And we probably have to have a whole other conversation on this. But that is something that I have been missing and haven't really figured out the right place to house it. But I've got a member vault thing now. And I want to say that that's one of the things that they offer as a community space. So maybe with that, I will be able to play around with it. But it's definitely on my radar. And like, this is just another reminder that like, oh yeah, you could be doing this, Brittany. Because just like you, I have had a lot of my services, my offers, my products, my workshops, my whatever, the podcast exists because people are asking me questions. And I love that I get asked questions. And I say that, and it's not fake, like genuinely love getting asked questions.
No, honestly, this is the thing. People are like, isn't it exhausting? Or like whenever people are like, I want to start a Facebook group, but I don't want people to talk to me. I'm like, then don't start a Facebook group. What? What are you talking about? Like I started this business because number one, my dog won't talk to me about this. Number two, none of my friends and family would listen to me anymore. And number three, my therapist banned me from talking about Google Analytics because I would like bring it up so much. I needed somewhere to talk about it and talk about it with people who get it, who get the wins and stuff. I also don't think it has to be in a group, to be honest. Like I think even like on threads, you do a great job with this. Instagram comments, DMs, like email replies. It doesn't always have to be public facing. It doesn't always have to be like truly like a group or forum. I think it's just about making the connections, and you already do a lot of that. So I would say like don't stress about platform. Like pick a place that you enjoy hanging out. Like it can just be threads. Like it needs to be somewhere where someone can start a conversation with you. So that's why to me like YouTube is hard because people can't just like come up to you and have a chat.
Yeah.
With other places, there's a lot of opportunity for that. And like because you have email, people can do that. Because you have threads where they can tag you, you can do that. So you can definitely curate a place. The main thing to me is like with community, just be accessible to the point where people feel like they can ask you questions, and then they will, and just like create a standard for yourself of answering. And for me, it helped to have one central place to do that because I get overwhelmed with all the socials. People still message me everywhere and I will respond. It just might take me a bit longer because I'm not on Instagram every day.
I like Instagram. So I don't know, maybe that's part of it. I should probably go look and check, but I do. I'm, I guess, different from you where I can bounce and I can have a conversation. One of my friends, actually Leah, so she edits the podcast. We have, I don't know, at any given time, like 5 or 6 or 7 different conversations, like text, email, threads, Instagram, what's the other thing? Telegram. Like we're just like all over the place.
See, I feel like I can do that with friends, but with like students or clients, the problem is because like they'll tell me in one spot and there's always like 40 Jakes or like 40 like Lauras or something. And some places it's like, okay, here you have your blog name.
Yeah.
Here you have your business name. Here you have your name. Here you have a fake name. And so I'm like, I don't remember that it's the same person. And then I just get like very embarrassed where I'm like, oh, so what's your income goal? And they're like, oh, I already told you. And I'm like, yeah, you did.
But you've
like,
had a different picture over there.
Yeah, I know that was you. So I'm like, I don't know. So yeah, with my friends, I'm the same though.
That's kind of what my brain does. Yeah. So that's good to hear that yours does. Before I forget, I want to tack on almost like an efficiency, I don't know, upgrade, let's say, to the blogging challenge, because I really like that and I need to put myself on that blogging challenge too. One thing that's been really helpful for me in 2025 is I realized that a lot of my conversions come from email. So I will put a lot of time and attention into the email, and then I can very easily take that email, because I write pretty long emails, and turn it into a blog post. So if you are hearing any of this and you're like, but the blogging sounds so challenging, do you write an email once a week? I'm going to throw in the word should here. I don't normally do this, but if you want to remain top of mind, if you want to grow those connections with your community, I would say definitely put a little bit more emphasis, at least for a month. We can just do this as a trial on emailing your people once a week. Take that email, turn it into a blog post. So that will help you just be really thoughtful and intentional about everything that you're doing, and it'll make it more efficient.
100%, because there's no need to be creating from scratch constantly. And I agree. I think email also, there's less rules and less structure. So it's easier to start there and then get to play around with it.
Yeah, for sure. If you're listening, let us know what your ahas were. Find Nina and me on Instagram. Come in our DMs. Give us like your thoughts, your feedback. Make sure that you're following Nina in all the places. She's got lots of resources. I have resources. Like between the two of us, you'll figure out SEO.
100% you will.
But thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining me, Nina. And I will catch you all next time. You've heard me talk about it, but how exactly does social proof support SEO? Well, your clients are kind of freaking brilliant because when they share what it's like to work with you or what they were able to achieve or accomplish with your help, they use words that other people are searching for. For real, they'll say things like, I walk away with practical tips to apply SEO to my own business, or all online business owners need to know about your SEO course, or Brittany helps me understand SEO in a real and tangible way. You know what's coming next, right? I need your help to get the Basic Bee podcast reaching more of the right ear holes. When you follow, rate, review, and share the show, that helps me help more entrepreneurs discover and lean into the magic of SEO. As a little extra incentive to write a review, once a month, I'll be selecting one podcast reviewer to receive a free mini SEO audit. You'll help me get discovered and I'll do the same for you. Check the description for more info.